Hi, welcome to Hansen's Speed Shop. Thanks for stopping by for another cool custom Hot Wheels build. Today we're going to be doing a 57 Chevy. It's been a little while since I've done a 57 Chevy. Kind of the idea I have for this car is I just kind of want to do a kind of a 50 style custom, just kind of a little ratty kind of a bomb. And it's something that somebody would kind of build um, as of modern times, as kind of a nod to what they would have done back in the 50s and 60s, but kind of more on a budget. So I've got this Hot Wheels 57 Chevy here. This has got the Edelbrock paint job on it, which is kind of a cool car. I had a couple of these actually. It says 283 on the hood. I believe 57 might have been the first year for the 283, but I'm not positive. So this car should be pretty cool. This car has red tinted windows in it, which I don't, not for this project, so I'm gonna save those. I've got another one of these that was kind of a donor car for another project that has kind of a smoked window. I think I'm gonna use those instead. I'm also not sure if I'm gonna keep the red interior or not. I'll just kind of decide that as we go along. But we're definitely going to be doing a wheel swap on here and a repaint and detailing. Also, I might try to get this car to kind of sit a little bit lower. It's not too bad in the front, but we might try to get the back down just a hair. And we'll get this thing torn apart and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I got the car stripped. Kind of got the body all nice and smooth and polished up, ready for paint. I got the car basically sitting kind of how I want the car to sit. I just got probably going to be running this kind of wheel up front. This was just on here for mock-up. The interior, I decided I'm probably going to do leave the red and then just detail it out with some black, give it a kind of a red and black two-tone. Planning on doing the body in a satin black, and then we're going to do a super heavy red flake on the roof. And then I got a cool idea for some exhaust that we're going to do on here, and some detailing on the chassis as well. So that's the progress on the car so far. Basically, like I said, all I've done is just strip the car, kind of get rid of some of the bad casting lines, and then I got the stance of the car basically how I wanted it. So we'll take another look at the car, maybe when I'm doing something with the exhaust, kind of show you what I'm going to be doing with that. Otherwise, for the most part, we just have painting and detailing left to do on the rest of the build. So we'll see ya probably once I start working on the Alright gang, here she is, my 57 Chevy, done up in a 50s style custom, kind of a old school bomb. Really dig the way this car came out. It's super awesome. I wanted to do this car up in kind of the way that a lot of guys were doing stuff up when kind of the whole retro revival of kind of 50s and 60s custom culture came about in like the late 90s to early to mid 2000s. Like when I was in high school, any of the old school rods magazines or Car Culture Deluxe, cars like this were everywhere, like super popular, and I always liked this look. A guy that doesn't have a ton of money but wants a cool old school looking car, lower the car, throw some flat black paint on it, and do some little mild customizations, and you got a sweet ride. So that's what I want to do with this car. Something that, a guy would have built that doesn't have a ton of money, but just wants a cool old school 50s style custom. And really, in all reality, I didn't spend a lot of money to do this myself. Started out with like a 97 cent 57 Chevy from Hot Wheels, and I basically used everything that came with the car with the exception of the wheels, so I had to get another car for wheels. And then just kind of used paint that I already had, so I really didn't spend a ton of money on this car. Some of the modifications that I did do was I wanted to get this car to have that cool low stance to it. So we lowered the front of the car and the rear of the car. We're running Hot Wheels steel wheels with white walls. I had to make custom axles and then do a slight bit of modifications to raise them to lower the car. This car came with the red tinted windows. I was originally going to switch them out, but I decided to just run them because they kind of matched the look of the car, and I think it looks really cool. We detailed out the little spears on top of the hood, the headlights, the wipers, door handles, and taillights. Otherwise, all the rest of the trim and everything on the car, I left the flat black that I did on the body. And I taped the whole car off. And actually, let me back up a second. Originally, I talked about I was going to do a super high metal flake paint job on the car. So I got some of this Rust-Oleum glitter paint in the red glitter. And if you're planning on getting something like that, because I've seen it like anywhere they sell spray paint, you can buy that stuff, and it's kind of expensive. It's like $6 or $7 for a can. But I thought if it turns out cool, I could use that on a lot of different projects. So I got a can. I thought this will be my test for it. Totally unhappy with it. I think it'd be fine on a bigger surface, but just doing the roof of the car was such a small surface, and it's a huge flake, so to get it nice and flat and even and a nice cover, it just came out looking like absolute dog crap. So I had to strip the car, start all over again. But don't waste your money on that for customizing Hot Wheels. So the way I did the roof on this car was I painted it with Tester's Diamond Dust, and then I went over it with a candy apple red, and then I kind of misted back over the top of that with the Diamond Dust, and then I cleared over that, and I think it came out really cool. Let's see if we can kind of see. It has a nice look to it. Much better than the first roof. And then I did the dash and steering wheel in the matching color that I did the roof in. Otherwise, the rest of the interior is just satin black. And then we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the back of the car. Just detailed out the taillights and kind of some bumper trim on the back. You can look at the passenger side of the car. The car's not, the body on the car is not perfect. There's some imperfections in the casting of the metal itself. But again, this car wasn't supposed to be, a perfect car. This was something that somebody built that doesn't have a ton of money, but just wants a sweet looking car, something they can drive, have fun with, and enjoy, because that's what it's really all about. We'll flip the thing over and take a look underneath the car. Let's see, we'll get the camera straightened out here. So I detailed out the whole chassis in flat black, just to kind of match the top side of the car. Detailed out the gas tank and exhaust. Painted the mufflers red like some old school cherry bombs. And then painted the engine and oil pan and everything red also. So that's the 57 Chevy. I really like this car. There were points in this build where I wasn't sure if I was coming out exactly like how I wanted it to, but I'm really happy with the finished results. I was originally going to do a custom exhaust tips on the car, but I kind of like it just how it is, so I decided to not go that route. But I have an idea for some really cool exhaust tips that I'm gonna try out on something in the future. But I just like the car as is. If you guys like this car, give it a thumbs up. Comment below, let me know what you like about it, or If you think it's cool or whatever, just let me know. I reply to everybody who does take the time to comment, and I do read everybody's comments. And I really appreciate it. Thank you for that. I also want to thank everybody for subscribing and just watching the videos in general. If you like what we're doing here and you haven't subscribed already, maybe you want to subscribe, because there's a lot more cool stuff like this, along with a lot of other cool bike and car culture stuff that we do on the channel. And there's tons of it already on the channel. More to come, so hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, stick around for some cool pictures of the 57. Otherwise, get out, work on your own projects, get your hands dirty, stay cool, and we'll catch you cats on the next one. Thanks for watching.